but I'm really happy that I get to say is the good evening Nordingrå. So when I arrived in Sweden, in Stockholm to catch my flight here, I went to the info asking, okay, I need to get to this place called Nordingrå. And the nice ladies on the information desk said, there is no such place in Sweden. And this made me both worried, but also fascinated, because I thought that if you're gonna run a game event in a place in Sweden that the Swedes don't know that exists, I think that shows, as the Americans would say, you have some balls. I don't know if that's a correct term to use nowadays, but I think you get the meaning. And that's why I thought it was quite fun to come here, because obviously I do all the big game shows, because unlike in the presentation that only covers my tabletop, I've actually done most of my career in video games. So I worked for Ubisoft, EA Games, Microsoft Game Studios, Capcom, Remedy. I'm still employed by Sony PlayStation as a board advisor. So I do all these big cons, but they tend to be quite samey. There is all the same, the decorations, same companies come, same people do the rounds, so it's quite boring. So I really like events like this that are in some weird, God-forgotten place that nobody, even in their own country, don't even know it exists. So you tend to have some very interesting events there, and I'm always on the side of a scrappy underdog, rather than the going to cheer for some huge big company that, quite frankly, doesn't need the visibility or the exposure that you get in these events. So I'm super happy to be here. I'm also happy that there were lots of other people from the industry doing speeches. That was awesome. So before I start, so you don't all just sit there and nod and smile, hands up, who knows what Trench Crusade is? Excellent, is it? They say that the Swedish education system is top notch. This proves the point. So I don't have to introduce the game to you. So let's talk about then, it's the how Trench Crusade was designed. I've been a game designer professionally for 30 years, and let's put it this way, the system how to make a commercially viable games is drilled into me in all these big companies that I work for. So how Trench Crusade started was that me working at the Sony PlayStation, overseeing their design efforts, and Mike Francina, who'd been the concept artist for numerous games, is the most probably best known for creating the visual look and feel of Diablo series. We both wanted to do a game community first. Now, obviously, every single games company and publisher are under the sun says that they are making games community first. They just don't mean it. And I know it. I mean, I've been a video game executive for half of my career, 15 years and you go to the stage and you lie and you wave and yes, we're doing this for you. While in reality, your big boss tells you very clearly, you're doing this for money. So we decided that we're going to make a game, we're going to lose all our time, we're going to lose all our money, and we are actually going to make a game the way we want to do. So the advice when you start a new games company, and I've started several, is that you need to raise money from investors, because otherwise you don't have food to eat. It's a problem. It's hard to design when your children are crying that they don't have any food. You should do market research. You should find a popular concept or a niche, and you should appeal to that the market segment. Far more importantly, and you need to raise the investor money or have a big company to fund it all. You need to do a lot of paid marketing. The way to succeed in games industry is to absolutely crowd the entire world with the adverts for your game. Because that's the way, if the game is sellable enough, each time you run an ad, you make money because more people buy it or invest in it. You need to go for the mass market, because especially now that the cost of developing games, IPs is getting higher and higher and higher, you need to appeal to more and more and more people. So this is why your typical Marvel movie looks the way it looks, because it has to appeal to an incredibly large crowd. And the last one is probably the most important one. You want to avoid controversial subjects. And on the top of it is religion, and of course, we take specifically Islam, you can never cover that. So when Mike and I sat down, we decided we will do none of those things. We will do the absolute opposite what you're supposed to do. And when I talked to Mike first time, when he proposed that, hey, I've been working the visuals of this world, would you like to make a game for it? And I said, you do realize if we do this, all the years we're going to spend on this will be wasted, and because we have to pay. No investor, like, if I want to drive my enemy into suicide, and they are an investor, I would pitch our game because we could see him jump out of the window to escape so he doesn't have to invest. That's how uninvestable this idea was. So I said to Mike, are you prepared to lose all that time and money? And he said, hell yeah. And I said, okay, we can do business, because I was just as sick and tired of having these creative turnipseeds to tell us how to make games. So off the wall we go. So let's look at the then, because it's easy to follow the advice on how to do a successful game. So there wasn't really a playbook for how to make a community first game. So let's look at the ingredients. Give away your game for free. I don't mean is to let people start the game for free and then charge them. Give the game away for free. Don't ask for any money. There are a good sides from my point of view, because I've already resigned myself to the fact that this was the absolute surest way to lose all the money and time I put in. The good things about giving your game away for free is that first of all, you put it out for free, and if everybody tells you it sucks, hey, you can start again really early. You don't have to waste all the time first. If they like it, but the game is not in balance, they will again tell you that I like this, but this force sucks, so you can address it. And if it happens that people like the game, you get a committed community right from the scratch. And you do find out immediately what are the people talking most about. So you find out that what about what you did appeals to people. And finally, I found out that if the people actually genuinely like the game without you coercing them or paying them or advertising to them, they will buy the game anyway. There's a big difference here between free-to-play and giving a game away for free. Free-to-play is a system where people start playing your game, and in order to proceed, usually that's when you have to pay. It's a very common and very popular business model. This is very different. Yeah, right. Then there is all this stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that we found that the community really liked. So you didn't know that beforehand. And you want to engage with them, because obviously it's one thing just posting the game away or for free and keeping your distance and just reading comments. You kind of had to put yourself out there. You find out what the people want, but that's not what you should give to them. You should give them what they need, and the only way you're going to find out what the community needs is by engaging with them. There is a game, a very famous game, and a very, very terrible game called the Campaign for North Africa, which is, when I teach game design in university, I use it as a warning example. It is a game that gave exactly the community, the historical war game is what they want. It takes from 1,500 to 3,000 hours to finish one game of the Campaign for North Africa. There is a very complex tables that determine how fast water from the tanks is vaporizing and how much more water you have to give to Italian troops because they have to cook pasta. So in order for you to do anything in the game, it takes an incredible number of hours because every single thing is simulated. This is the game you'll make if you give the people the game they want. So you need to figure out what they need. Don't copy anybody else, because the problem here is that the community finds out everything. People have incredible amounts of time and resources at their hands to research everything you do. And the community first also means you have to pick a passion over copying a popular thing, because again, I don't think you can enforce the players with something they've already seen. If it's just another safe bet, very unlikely they are going to give a new game a chance. Far more importantly, you will be miserable because you're just copying somebody else. But if you manage to do that, you'll find out that your community is actually quite resilient. Not every single rule or idea will work, and people will talk to you, and you can figure out what you need to fix. And if you've engaged the community from the beginning, you get the benefit of doubt. You know that nowadays when a big games company or entertainment company puts something out that there is something wrong, nobody gives them a benefit of doubt because they all suspect it's all just stage managed, and nobody on the other side actually gives a damn. So here you are, here is your community, you're all marching to the same direction. Let's say, you can't get this with money. So, the other thing is that you should think of the world. I think that I'm very well aware, and I see the numbers, that the majority of the money in the games industry comes from America, and that's why most companies, games companies, entertainment companies, they cater for America because it makes financial sense. However, I think that since everybody already does this, it's very tough to do something new and fresh. So go outside your comfort zone. In a case of a war game like this, the history gives you a lot of avenues that you thought were not there, because we have mainly just thought about our own history and our own culture and our own environments. But you can go and bring other things than the Western Knight into a historical game. Don't get me wrong, I love Western Knights. We have lots of them in the Trench Crusade, but you can do other things too. But you do need to realize that you have to do your research. My rule for including the Middle Eastern or African cultures was that you don't slander, don't pander, treat them like everybody else. I think treating other people for Disneylands, or just saying that if you don't come from this part of the world, if you come from this part of the world, you're automatically an evil person, which seems to be the only two things that the companies can do. Neither one of those is authentic. So don't try to fake it, you have to do research. So what I said is that in a game like Trench Crusade that deals with the Abrahamic religions, I had to accept that I was born in a Judeo-Christian culture. I know a lot about it, even if I'd never read a book. And I had to when I started looking at the Ethiopian Orthodox Church or the Golden Age of Islam, that I'm basically newborn. So I had to have enough humility to start studying from the bottom. You can't cut corners, because people will find you out. It's always the thing, that you've gone to your first kung fu lesson and I'm gonna get a cool Chinese tattoo and I'll pick that one. And then your Chinese friend comes, is eating banana. Okay, so why do you have a tattoo of a sandwich on your arm? This is where you end up if you don't do your research. So here you can see one of the Ethiopian troops from Trench Crusade and our take on the Janissary. And this has been wonderfully well received by the community, not just within the gaming culture, but I got people from all over the world. Ethiopia, Turkey, Middle East is writing that this is actually really cool, because I think this is what a lot of games get wrong. They think that the people outside our culture and sphere wants to be just represented as this harmless but friendly person, while for my Turkish friends, Janissaries or the Islamic fairies, they are like knights to us. They are really cool. They are, in a context of a war game, they are quite dangerous and powerful warriors, and if you just do the Disney way, then you will never appeal to what they find appealing in their own history and mythology. You can see here is an Ethiopian church war prophet and the Yubashi captain from the Iron Sultanate. So what else is there that you have to do if you want to do a community-first game? Don't build a walled garden. You cannot serve two masters, Mammon and the community, simultaneously. So it's not just that giving away the game for free is necessary, because obviously you need some business model eventually that the people can support you if they want. But you need to create safety valves that people who do want to engage and they do want to play, but they don't have enough funds, or it's very difficult in their country to get the game, that they can get engaged. So one of the things we did, that we made the game miniature agnostic. It's a tabletop game. Usually the 95 to 99% of the money you spend on a miniature game are the miniatures. We wanted to pay our sculptors pretty well. Our miniatures are not the cheapest. They are not the expensive by a longest shot, but neither are they the cheapest. But you don't have to buy them. The game officially supports miniatures from any manufacturer. You don't have to buy anything from us. So again, it's the go against what the normal common sense of doing good business does to you. So here you have a anointed of the Mammon. You can see two people who took a loan from Mammon and gave their couple of pounds of their flesh. So Mammon took their heads and put them to work for you. You can't do this if you want to do community first. So it is kind of sad that you don't get the cool golden bling bling. It's there are some choices has to be made. And you have to have principles. Again, it's very easy to start by saying that I'm gonna follow all these rules, I'm gonna be good to the community, you're gonna wave your hands. These are actually, we've written them up for our company. Then any one of us, if we don't follow these, the other's job is to call you out. So we do no fear of missing out. So nothing we do is exclusive or timed exclusive, which is a very common way in the industry to get a lot of revenue, because your fans, they really, really, really want to get something that's really cool, but you limit the time period, you put the price high up. We don't do that. Only things that are limited time are the things that we only can produce once. Like, for example, we just did some lino prints, and unfortunately the beautiful block of wood that the Victor, our graphic artist, carved, it can only last for so long. But otherwise, everything will be always available. So no exclusive, no limited runs. Those are only done if we have no other choice. We will always keep the game miniature agnostic. Our rules will always be free. And very importantly, we will not ever use AI. The game was done to encourage human creativity and spirit. I am firmly of the opinion that right now what's happening, I have to do laundry and wash dishes and clean up. And the robots, AI is supposed to do my music and my art and my writing. I want it the other way around. I want the robot to do all that stuff so I could do art. For some reason, the tech pros only want to do all the creative stuff and leave all the menial jobs for us. I wonder why they are doing that. I'm really wondering what could possibly be the reason. But again, so we put the Trench Crusade out. We told that we are going to do a crowdfunding. All the rules were already out. It's and Trench Crusade went into the most the highly expected by the data, not by opinion, crowdfunding campaign in the world immediately as we launched it, and it remained the #1 until we launched the game. In our case, it's the fans did support us all the way to hell and back, literally. But we needed more mistakes to create. So at this point, we were feeling pretty good about it. For the budget of $70,000, which was a lot of money, I mean, it was just me and Mike putting it up. We've raised at this point something like $7 million. So we went, not too bad. So we decided that this seems to be working, so let's continue. What else can we do that would be really stupid? So there are lots of really, 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 really great independent creators in the gaming space that are very talented. They are hugely passionate, but it is almost impossible for them to make a living because they cannot get the visibility. All the big companies buy all the visibility with paid advertising. They run the shops, they have exclusive deals, And we said that we have this intellectual property now that the people like. So how about we let everybody else to use it as well? So obviously you have to submit what you want to do with us. And we have tiers that if you want us to do work for you, like make art, write rules, and the fiction in order for, let's say you're a miniature sculptor, but you don't know how to write rules. I can write your rules, then we might do some profit share. If you do everything yourself, we just want to check that you don't do anything absolutely barbarous that we can't support, and you can use our IP to sell your own product. Again, we got a lot of warnings from the industry experts, and we decided to ignore them all. So we run with our first collaboration, we run with Westphalia. They are now actually up to $1 million. Super happy to see that. Wonderful people, really talented sculptors, it's the great artist, it's a great company. Done a lot of work with the Swedes as well. They did quite a bit of miniatures for Mörkburg. So the super happy to see that, of course, it's tough being indie out there. This success means that now they can, this year, they can plan ahead a bit. They can hire people, they can sort of not have to, they can keep the wolf off the door for a little while instead of having to just release a new miniature every month at a huge rate in order to just pay the bills. I'm not gonna lie, I wrote the rules and the lore for them. We did very well. We obviously, there was a share. We did extremely well. They did many, many times better, which I'm super happy about it. And a lot of new people were exposed into this wonderful company. Let's see. The fans will produce more content if they believe in your game than your company will do in 1,000 years. I'm not, for once, I'm not exaggerating. That's literally true. The amount of painted models, the stories people write, the kit bashing, sculpting, running events, tournaments, the running demo games they will do is so much more than we could ever even dream of doing, even if we had unlimited budget. Is the simply finding training and the dispatching people all around the world would be impossible. In the Adepticon alone this year in US, the volunteers, which we never asked them to do any of this, run almost 500 demo games in a single con. So 1,000 new people got to try the game. And again, this is all grassroots, nothing to do with us in any more sense than we obviously went to hang out with them and go and thank them. But these people are the ones that actually keep the community and the IP going. You will discover new talent, like the people that we are looking to, we either hired or we are looking to hire into the company. You know that the people who really love your IP so much that they are willing to do that. These will be the people that you will find through these communities. And as you saw with the community license, they will do acts of incredible creativity if you let them. And they will be your best marketing. Some of you might know this. Now that we've made a decent amount of money, how much money do you think we spend on marketing thus far? Go ahead. Yep, that's right. $0. We've never spent a single cent on an ad. It probably would make sense. I actually think it would work. I've been in games industry for a very long time. I know how the math works, but both me and Mike hate seeing ads, so we just can't bring ourselves to show any cost. I'm so annoyed every time there is a single ad, so I don't want to be part of that. But I believe that the grassroots fans will be the greatest possible advertisement your game will ever have. They will also make propaganda for you. So there is all around the internet is all these posters about they are posting all over the world, including lots of very disturbing pictures of the artillery witch. It's the skimpier and skimpier clothing is a thing, and there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these, and the more being made every day. And again, I have not asked anybody to do those. I think it would be illegal if I did, probably. So even amongst the fans, you will then find super fans, the people who are really into a single aspect of your game, whether it's the lore, it's the rules, it's the gameplay, it's how the tournaments work, it's the whatever it is. not only will they help you to find those weaknesses, they are the people who run all the events, who gather others. Now, my mentor, Rick Priestley, the guy who wrote the original 40K and Warhammer, he always drew this extremely rude picture, and I apologize beforehand, but he showed that this is mainstream, and he drew a big circle, and this is the gamers, and he drew a smaller circle, and then he drew a little circle and painted it black and said that, and these are the hardcore fans, and they have the gravity that pulls everybody else in. Obviously, this was his way, just he wanted to draw a breast and to embarrass all the rest of us. So, but that wasn't me. That was Rick. You can't blame me. They're also very useful for burning trolls. We all know that trolls are very vulnerable to fire. We've had a lot of extremely nasty trolls. I haven't quite figured out why they hate us. I think it's something to do with black people, but these people are very useful because they tend to moderate the forums, and they chuck people out that actually would then poison and make the whole community toxic. So again, I don't have to do this. It's wonderful. I'm a very bad moderator. And I need to write the game. You also get cool people doing extempore Trench Crusade cosplay. I mean, obviously, you probably know her. Louise is a wonderful, wonderful lady and a great influencer at our stand, but she presents the kind of community I want to have. A brilliant lady. If you ever go to Nottingham, go and say hi to her. She's awesome. So there are things you need to do then if you want to do this. You have to keep your word. You can't always. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes a product is late. Just be transparent. People get it if you're honest. Don't be an asshole. If you treat people badly, it will come back to haunt you. Obviously, this does not include trolls. Trolls are not people. Sometimes this costs you, and pay it with smile. Sometimes I've had people in some events who really wanted to come and run the demos, but they're not rich. So paying for the ticket and the hotel was too much. We were happy to cover that cost. And yeah, it's not free, but you also have to think that in reality, if I'd have to hire somebody to do that who would be less enthusiastic, it would cost more, you wouldn't run as good demos, and you wouldn't make one of your supporters happy. Take care of your key community members. So it sometimes feels that you're tired, you worked really hard on your rules all day, and you have all these messages, and I have a lot of messages every day, trying to answer at least the people who are waiting something, that they need something from you so they can help you. At least do that. Choose a long-term health of your community or short-term gain. Sometimes that means some challenging decisions. Sometimes you can't please everyone, so try to be as fair as you can. So all this probably sounds like a lot of hard work. It is, I agree, it's much easier. Like, I work for all these big companies, and earning your living is a lot easier if you just keep your nose clean and you follow the rules and you follow the system that's been established for making games. But I've had a lot more fun working for myself fully now. Normally when I've started companies, the problem is that you raise money from investors and then you have to listen to them. I don't have any investors, so I don't have to listen to anybody. You can potentially do something that is more memorable. I'm not necessarily saying more successful. That's nice if that happens, but I guarantee you, if you make something you're really passionate about, at least whatever you succeed and fail, and failure does sting, I've done that a lot of times, at least you remember it, that you actually did something that you cared about. You can change the industry for better. I believe that I'm hoping that our example will inspire others, and maybe some companies will look at the business, ways of doing business, and maybe think that maybe we don't have to be quite that naughty. Because I think what we've shown is that you can both have some morals and still be financially successful. And I think there is a more long-term health here. I think the communities that are appreciated, respected, helped, is the nurtured, are more resilient and they live longer than the communities that eventually figure out that how the game company sees you is just something that you squeeze money out of. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I want to be successful. I have a family to feed. I just think there are other ways to do it than just looking at people and seeing just wallets and that's it. And you can look yourself in the mirror, which I work for a lot of very, very hard-nosed games companies, and some things that we did as part of the company I'm not necessarily very proud of. Some business practices are better than others. What's nice about doing community first is that it's a lot easier to forgive yourself your mistakes. And finally, you might make an artillery witch. So in many ways, she's become the symbol of the Trench Crusade. So I think she really highlights that something that on a paper should not make any sense that it becomes so popular. So you have this artificial lady that was constructed in hell, that comes to Earth, opens portals, pulls bombs out of them, chucks them at people and blows them apart, and everybody loves her. A lot of people love her a lot. They make all this fan art, they dress up. We have this wonderful lady in New Zealand that's making this insanely detailed costume of the artillery witch. There is a new pieces of fan art every day. There are some love letters we receive for the artillery witch. We have just politely answered that she's mute, so she can't answer. And you shouldn't marry a machine from hell. It's a bad plan. But I think this shows that you can't tell beforehand what will be popular and what won't. And that brings us to the end. Now, we've let a lot of time and space for questions and comments and answers, and I quite like doing them. I know I'm a Nordic myself, so people here are shy, but maybe if you have a question, summon your courage. Maybe I have a glamorous assistant that can take a microphone to you, or you can shout at me, that works too. And we can try to answer any questions you might have. So.
Yes,
Hello.
I hate hearing myself over a microphone. I just wanted to ask how you go about collecting like data sets for when you update the rules and such.
I look at it in much more holistically. The problem with the individual data points is that some people are much better players, like they're just tactically better. Some people are really lucky. So what I do is I gather large sets of data, like, is everybody taking this weapon? That, by the way, is fine if I designed it so that I want everybody to take the weapon. Is this warband winning a lot more than 55% of their matches? And if you get it from a group of 10 people, it doesn't really matter, because even a one very good player could completely skew the results. When you get it from 10,000 people, you start seeing a bigger picture. So I try to identify the biggest possible bang for buck, because with data you can go into an insane amount of detail and start measuring things that don't matter. So I look at the big things: victory loss records of the warbands, which troop types are used the most, which warbands are the most successful, is there some scenario that's always lopsided, like I get the same results and it's always a huge victory for defender. How many victory points do they generate, so on and so forth. So most people tell you to go to a very deep in the data. I say go high. Try to find the big things that break, because the little things, there could be one annoying player somewhere that pollutes your entire data set, and then you tune the game completely wrong because of a one person.
Yeah, that answered my question.
Excellent.
Thank you.
No problem. Any more? I won't give the artillery witch's phone number if somebody asks, but everything else is fair game. Almost everything. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
How long did it take before you could feed your crying kids when you let go of money needs?
Well, this is the thing. I have a family which I did have to feed. and my daughter is very cute, so seeing her to starve would have been hard. So what I did, and the Mike did the same thing with Blizzard, I had a full-time job as a design director at the Sony PlayStation. So I finished my normal working days, and they can be quite long in the video game industry, and then I took some caffeine tablets and I did at least another 8 to 10 hours every day, went to bed, woke up, went to PlayStation, and did this for 2 years. So I never got into a situation, but the moment when I could go and sit down with my bosses at Sony and say, look, all my thoughts are with my own game. I can pay myself a lot more than you can pay me. So how do we sort this out? They were very gracious. Thanks a lot, by the way, Sony. They allowed me to both keep a position there as an advisor and do this as full time. But that was pretty much the moment that the Kickstarter, we did Kickstarter and then late pledge. You get the money for the Kickstarter, and our original Kickstarter was 3.3 million. At that point, we had all that money in the bank. We knew exactly what it was going to cost us to deliver it, so there wasn't really much point for us to stay on our day jobs anymore. So we both then moved on. So I kind of kept it as well, but we worked for 2 years without a pay in order to make the game first. I mean, Mike has worked on the visual side for 8 years, but from the point of view of producing the art, the rules, the lore, the miniatures for the game, it took us 2 years.
Sorry. Now I'm just interested in all the rumors, positive rumors about old Games Workshop friends of yours joining. When did that start? Was it an old plan, or like you've been talking about this for years with them, or is it something that?
No. I mean, there's actually several coincidences that happened. So one of them was, of course, that John Blanche retired, and I worked with him for years. He did Mordheim with me, along Mike, the best art director I ever had. And he called me over when he retired. He wanted to talk to me about many things. We worked together for a long time, and then he said, well, Tuomas, I'm going to draw something for Trench Crusade, and if you say no, I'm going to punch you. And I said, sure, John, I will take anything you draw, and you don't have to go threaten me. I was kind of hoping that I could maybe ask you to do a single thing. No, Simon, as you probably have seen, is the one of the biggest box tabletop game companies. Is basically because of all the fun and games with tariffs. They just fired all their creative staff, so there is nothing left except the people in China who run the money. And that meant that a lot of the best talent in the world locked down. People like Mark Gibbons, Adrian Smith, Paul Bonner. So all those people became free agents. Obviously, I had already a relationship with them. But to be fair, I thought that they would already be snapped up, but they all contacted me and said that we really like what you're doing. Can we draw and paint something? Jervis Johnson just retired from Games Workshop, so he became free agent. Jervis is a designer that I truly look up to. Like, just his work on Blood Bowl alone means he's one of the most legendary game designers who's ever lived. Like, very few people can do a classic game like that. So having him to join the team part-time. Andy Chambers, we worked together on video game side for years after I left Games Workshop. So calling Andy to help me out was great. Graham McNeil is who's been writing stuff for us. I gave Graham his first job in games industry, so he always goes and says, boss, can I write something for you, boss? And I said, Graham, you don't have to call me your boss anymore. Yes, boss. And I'm just, okay, of course you can write something for me. I would love to. So I think there were all these things, people retiring, Seaman going under, which is very tragic. By the way, if you're looking for top talent, any companies, go and hire them. Some of the best people in the world in the games industry are available now. So all these things just happened at the same time. So I wish I could tell you that I had this insane master plan that I could hypnotize all these people. No, it's just random chaos that happened at the same time. That's the reality and the truth of it.
Thanks. That clarifies a lot. Beautiful story, anyhow.
Yeah.
And beautiful people to work with. I'm happy for you. That's amazing crew. What an amazing crew.
Yeah. I think that a lot of again, because of the way the industry is, You see a lot of game companies approaching now, especially art, that they want everything to look the same. While they want a unified looking product, they don't give artists credit anymore. So you don't know who made it because they want everything to look the same. You've seen this obviously with Games Workshop, you've seen this with Wizards of the Coast a lot. And I came from the period when recognizing the style of each artist was huge part of the enjoyment of the to me the game, that I could follow what is Mark Gibbons doing next, what is Paul Bonner doing next. All this is being erased from the rest of the tabletop industry, and I just wanted to bring that back. So I think as us as fans, I mean, imagine if you went to movie and nobody would be willing to tell you who directed it, or who acted on it. You just have to take a blind jump. I wouldn't go to watch so many movies. To me, seeing the names behind the creative project are important. Like when I see Robert Eggers' name on a film, I've already bought the ticket because I believe he is one of the great visionaries in filmmaking right now, in the mainstream, I mean. And I think it's wrong towards us who consume entertainment that we have the right to know who is making our entertainment. It's I think this modern approach to creative work where the creator is completely removed, I don't think it's a good direction for us to go. But what do I know?
Great. Any more questions from the crowd?
Oh, there's one more. Excellent. I love when people get brave as the night gets longer, and there's no alcohol involved.
Yeah, I want to know how you. I'm going to take a minute of it. Let's take the artillery witch.
I'm sorry?
Let's take the artillery witch.
Let's take.
How did you come up with that? What's the creative process behind creating the artillery witch?
So if you look at our Slack discussions, because remember, me and Mike are on different continents and time zones. He posts a lot of sketches and he does very loose and rough sketch works and writes words all over them. I write narrative lore, info snippets and the rules that, hey, they could have this kind of a weapon. Now, artillery witch specifically, Mike already had the visual concept and I came up with the rules and the lore. But most of our work is just that both of us are throwing stuff at the wall at the same time. And once we saw that there's this interesting looking blob that we've generated together by slapping words and pictures and rules, then we hone in on it, and then we start detailing it. Because Mike is the kind of artist that he is like insanely detail oriented. So every single art piece he does, even though he's very fast, takes quite a long time. So we don't want to, unless we're sure this is something we want to do, we keep everything very raw. Same thing, if you want to get good rules, you have to iterate and rewrite and playtest. So you don't want to, a lot of younger designers and creators, they tend to start with, this is how everything works. And then they try to tinker with it. But the problem is, if the original idea wasn't strong, then they waste their time and they keep tinkering on, it's the old saying in games industry, you can't polish a turd. And sometimes your idea isn't great. So you want to first make sure your idea is great visually, law-wise, rules-wise, and you believe in our case that you can make a great miniature out of it before we commit the time and effort to making those things. So there's a lot of very rules, like snippets of text, lore, lots of sketches with different weapons, heads, armor, like Mike does for any single concept you see. Mike does probably 12 or 24 potential alternative sketches. I write like many different possible paths, very roughly. And then we look at what excites us, and then we hone on that, we put that all together. But I think that's not a process that can work for everybody. I've worked with a lot of artists. Not everybody works in a way that gels so well with the way I work. I'm just lucky that I have an artist that has the imagination and the creative chops to do something. Because what's great about Mike is that he can do the loosest sketch, and then he can do art that, obviously I'm very biased, but I think he's one of the finest game artists working today in the world. That he can do this whole process alone, that we don't need to involve anybody else. Usually in video games you have concept artists and you have 3D sculptors and you have texturers and modelers and the riggers and you have so many people touching single the character. It's super hard to really distill a vision because you have 20 people working on a single piece, and then you have all the designers. So it's actually probably close to 50 people working on every single thing, which tends to dilute the vision. You tend to come up with less daring stuff because you get the mean average of everything, right? Excellent. If that is it,
I have a suggestion how to end it. We seem to have your Kickstarter movie.
no, by all means.
I think that should be so cool to lots of people have probably seen it, but I guess other people who I've seen here around haven't seen it. So
Okay.
we should end on a high note with
Okay.
with the movie.
Okay, let's look at.
Let's roll.
Please.
A heretical band of Templars dared defy the Almighty. Casting aside their sacred vows, they opened a gate of hell at the very heart of Jerusalem. Out poured the legions of the damned, and the world burned. Know then that it is the year of our Lord, 1914, and the flames of war still rage. This is... From the heretical mind of Mike Francina comes a skirmish wargame set in a horrifying alternate timeline where the armies of hell clash with the forces of the faithful in a battle to decide the fate of all creation. With rules and lore by the acclaimed Tuomas Pirinen, designer of Mordheim and Warhammer 6th edition. Experience brutal and bloody trench combat in one-off games and narrative campaigns as you take command of any of the 6 different factions in a grim, dark world sculpted by James Sheriff and some of the greatest creative minds in wargaming. Crusade. Now on Kickstarter. Join the Crusade.
Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. Lovely. Thank you so much. This was great. Thank you, all of you. I'll stick to English. Hold on.